Hello, everyone. So, there's something that keeps popping up. It's a belief that I didn't know other people believed. When I was I don't know, about 12 years old, I had an assumption, and I assumed that the Bible, since it was so old, I assumed that it had been changed through time. And yeah, I know, if you've been with me for a while, you'll see that I made this video twice before. This is the third time making this video. But, when I decided to look into it, because I just blindly believe it. Now, I never heard that the Bible was rewritten. I never heard anything about it. I just assumed, because I was a kid. You know, no, there's never been a study on it. No one ever told me. Because no one believed it, because everyone knew it was a fact that the Bible, not one word's ever been changed. Now that I'm older and I think it's common knowledge, I'm seeing that more people, and I'm not talking about teenagers, I'm talking about people in their 20s, even their 30s and up, think the Bible's been rewritten. Now, if you look into it, you could see that we found many, many scrolls that prove the Bible's never been rewritten. We know for a fact, actually. And everyone who's ever tried to disprove this always falls flat on their face. Because they've never, to this day, have never found one scroll with a word that's been changed in it. And they have found so many scrolls of the same books. Like, let's take the book of, any book. Let's just say Exodus or something, or Genesis, the first books. What happens here is, they find some scrolls on it. And they find all these scrolls, and, you know, of course the liberals and Antichrist people are very upset because this proves all these New Age beliefs wrong. It proves that, you know, the Bible is correct. Well, not really. It doesn't prove that it would be correct if it is from God, because it's never been written, is what I'm saying. Rewritten. So, we're finding more and more scrolls that go further and further and further back. And the last that they found, I don't remember where it was, somewhere in the Mideast, they found just dozens of scrolls. And people were all happy, and they announced the age of the scrolls. I'm not sure how old they were, but they were so old, they went far beyond any other scrolls. So these people were all happy and proud of themselves, and they announced that they would be able to find the difference of the correlation of those books, the old scrolls, that they found, and the newer ones. And they went through it, and they found that not one word had changed. Now, you're probably wondering why that is. The reason that is because before the Roman Catholic Church came about and started going against the Bible, because even the Roman Catholic Church, as you can see, they have a completely different belief than the Bible. The Orthodox have a completely belief than the Bible. The Mormons, who aren't Christians at all, the Church of Christ, the Baptists, Presbyterians especially, all these people all have a Bible, and they have their own religion though. Because when you read the Bible, you'll always see that they don't go by it. But there's a reason they keep it in the Bible. Is no matter who you are, you know not to change a word in the Bible. And that's the reason why that within the Bible it says, do not change the words, do not add to the book, otherwise you add from the fire to the fires of hell. Do not take away, otherwise you take away your share of the, the book of life. To get into heaven. So no one has ever had everyone was just too scared, is what I'm saying. Everyone was too scared to go up against God, because only the educated, only the religious people would get the education to write the scrolls, or make copies of the scrolls. So that's why we can see as far back as the scrolls go, there's been more scrolls and copies of all those scrolls and copies, and we got all these, and we go on further and further and further and further and further. And we've confirmed today, not one word has ever been changed, ever, in the Bible. You know, I was at the mosque the other day, And they said the funniest thing to me, it was more misconceptions to try and prove me wrong. They said that Christians believe in 3 different gods. And I said no. And after I said no, the guy looks at me and says, well, guess what? There's one God. That proves the Bible wrong. And I was like, no, there is one God. 3 is 1. And he's like, so you said 3. He said 3. I said, no, I said 3 is 1. You're getting rid of it. You see? So he says, well, there's only one God, so that proves you wrong. I was like, no. If I said there was 3 gods, then it would prove me wrong. But I didn't say there was 3. I said there's 3 is 1, which means that there's one God within the 3 that are 1. The guy didn't understand it because he doesn't have a spiritual understanding or a quantum physics understanding. He just has a very fleshly understanding. Then this guy brings up the Bible. My friend Cameron, who I'm going to be debating here soon, he's turned all these different beliefs and religions, and currently he's chosen Islam. He tells me about the Bible. He calls me up yesterday and says, hey, what's the difference between the New King James and the Old King James? And I told him. And then it was funny because before he said it, I knew where he was going to go with it. I said, by the way, don't come at me with the New King James was translated off of the Old King James Bible, and that the NIV was translated by the New Living Version, which was translated by the English version. I told him, because that's not it. And it was so funny because he stops like, well, why do you say that? He was going to go into that. A lot of people don't understand that no matter what version of the Bible you have, they were all translated straight from the scrolls. If you read the front of your Bible on where the translation came from, you will always find in all the Bibles, 100% of them, they were translated off of the Bible. It's just there's different types of translations. You got the translations that go word for word, like verbatim. One word could have to be described by 3 words. So you have Bibles like that, and then you have the Bibles that go from that very logical understanding of what each word means off the scrolls. You get into more laxed translations, and to get the meaning across, so that you can get the gist of the Bible, so you can understand more what it means and how they would have said the words at that time. So instead of saying, I, thou, something, so-and-so, it would say, so I went over there and this is what happened. And it's very clear. And the Living Bible and the NIV Bibles are more like that. They're more for you to have an understanding of what the Bible means. But I read them, you always want to read the Greek itself, and then look at the different translations of the Greek and why each Bible got the different translation. And you can get that by getting a Greek-English linear study Bible. And it will have the Greek word, then the English word, and then it will have the word in Hebrew, and then it will have the different meanings of the Greek and the Hebrew word, and break it down. It's very long, but you'll get with the Bible, you'll get a lot clearer understanding with that. But anyway, that's the reason we know that the Bible has never been changed, is the fact that we see for a fact that there's hundreds and hundreds of scrolls. The age range is all different, and the word is exactly the same. And we've gotten so far back, so many thousands of years back now, without there being one word that's changed. It's pretty hard to say that the Bible's been rewritten so many times. The Bible's never been rewritten. Only the belief has changed. But if you want to get past that, you read the Bible and see why your denomination or your church or belief system doesn't believe that. Now, there's other people who call themselves Christians, like the Mormons. Yeah, they've rewritten the Bible. They changed it, but they're not Christians. They're Mormons. They're a cult. They're not even allowed in the Christian community or allowed to call themselves Christians, but they self-proclaim themselves Christians. By the rest of the world and the United States government, they're not classified as a Christian. Breaker, are you in the house? I know that's you. Breaker! Breaker, breaker, breaker! I hope that's Breaker, otherwise I got a beast in the house. So, where else was I going to go with that? Greek English Linear Study Bible. Guess that's it. Guess that's everything I have to say. There was something else, but I can't remember what it was. But oh yeah, different belief systems that have changed the Bible. There's the Jehovah Witnesses too. They've rewritten it. They've rewritten it to the point where they look at it and they say, well, yeah, the Greek does say this, but we believe that they accidentally wrote it wrong and that was the wrong word and that they actually meant this, so we wrote it that way. And after they write it that way, there's so many other things that they had to change in the Bible that they even had to add the Book of Mormon to it, which has been proven to be completely, actually, so only religion, Mormonism is the only religion, actually, that's been scientifically proven to be wrong. That's another study for another discussion for another time. But the dog's crying. Let's go see what he wants. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching.